I remember talking to someone a while ago, and we were talking about setting up a home business, and the person said to me, "Oh, I don't need to have a business structure. I don't need to have insurance. I don't need to have those kind of things because I'm working from home." There's a general tendency for people setting up a home business to think they're immune from legal matters. That's not so. That's not true. What is true is that you've got to register with the right authorities so that you don't get in trouble. So the first thing you want to do as a home-based business is to decide what kind of business structure you want to have. And by business structure, I'm talking about whether you're going to be a partnership, a sole proprietorship, or a sole trader in the UK, a limited liability company, or a non-for-profit. Whatever kind of business you want to have, you've got to have a structure to it. And it's upon that legal structure that you are taxed. So your taxation is based on the type of legal structure that you have. Generally speaking, both in the UK and the US, being a sole trader in the UK and being a sole proprietor in the US is very similar. It's very easy to start. It doesn't cost you any money. In the UK, it costs no money. You simply register with the Inland Revenue, that's the tax authority. They give you a tax code and off you go. You have a business name. You can go to the bank, open a bank account in that business name, and off you go, start trading. It doesn't cost you anything. You don't need an accountant to do it. You don't need anybody to do it. You can do it yourself online. It's quite simple. And I think it's the same in the US as well when you run a sole proprietorship. In the UK, you get taxed almost 18 months after you start trading. So it's pretty good to it's a good way to start. So if you do not have the potential of any kind of legal claim against you, then being a sole proprietorship or a sole trader is a good way to start. If you have a partner, you might want to have a partnership. By the way, if you do have a partnership, you need to have a partnership agreement to just sweeten the deal and make sure everybody knows what they're doing. If you're going to have shareholders, if other people are going to invest in the business, then it's possible that you might look to have a limited liability company. We call it the LTD in the UK and it's the LLC in the US. And that's going to cost you some money to start off. So you might need a solicitor to help you to do that. And in the UK, you get taxed as a PAYE as well as you pay corporation tax. So you basically your business pays two taxes directly or indirectly, either way you want to look at it. So because you're working for the company, you pay your PAYE tax, and because the company makes money, that company then pays corporation tax because the company is a separate entity from the individual. But the good news is that your liability is limited. So if you can have legal action taken against you because of the kind of business you do, you definitely want to be a limited company. Or if you're going to have shareholders involved in the business, then you must be a limited company. It's better for you to be that. The second thing that I want to talk about on the legal matters is licenses. Well, in the UK, if you are running certain kinds of businesses, let me say it this way: if you change the structure of your house, then you might need a building license. Because you have changed the structure of your house to accommodate the business. But if you're just using a room, a part of your house, then you don't need no licenses. But in the US, in some cities, in some states, you need to get licenses. So you need to check with your county, your local county, to see whether you require a license for your type of business. The other two legal matters that are very relevant to mostly many businesses, the health and safety certificates. There are some businesses that need that. For example, in the UK, if you're doing anything to do with food or processing any kind of materials, you could be making some hair products at home or making health foods at home or making any kind of food stuff, then you need to have the health and safety certificate. And I think it's the same in many countries. And finally, you need to have insurances. If you are, for example, if you're looking after children, you will need to have insurances. If you're looking after, if you're giving advice, you need insurance. You need insurances as well, professional indemnity insurance. And you just need to check if you're selling goods from home, you might need some insurance to protect the goods that you're selling. So you need to look at these legal matters because they're very relevant to your business. And apart from the fact that some of it's actually law, you need to make sure you are adequately covered in case of any eventualities. So in this particular teaching, we've talked about the need for insurances, health and safety certificates when necessary. Also, we've looked at licenses and, of course, having business structures and your taxation. Very, very important. See you on the next videos.